Hi, my name is Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Today I'm going to show you how to use specialized HP floor pump with the switch hitter 2 head that does both Schrader and Presta valves. It's called the Airtool. We're going to show you how to use this thing today. I'm going to show you how to use the switch hitter 2 pump head on the Airtool, the Airtool by Specialized. You might have gone to a bike store and you put this thing right on top, and then you start to think you're going to pump up to your tire and you end up airing it completely down where your tire goes. So that's why I'm making this video, is because I've had that exact same thing happen to me. And it's really frustrating. You think, man, why should a pump be so hard to use? Well, because of the technology in this head that they use, which is, by the way, replaceable, it makes it a little bit more complex. So don't feel dumb. It happened to me. I was like frustrated. It's been an hour, like, okay, how do you do this? So I thought I'd hop on YouTube and create a video just for you to show you I can do it so you can get your pump going. And by the way, just before we get going here, if you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button, that'll help support my channel and keep bringing this free and helpful, hopefully helpful information to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of aspects of this pump and before we get going, and then I'll show you how to actually connect it. You'll notice that this shaft diameter here where the air column is on the different Specialized pumps actually come in different diameters. Now I've owned this for quite a few years, maybe 7 years, give or take. And one thing, they come in the very thin to very large versions. The one thing I wish I would have bought was a larger version, because this air pump will pump up to theoretically 180 psi. Yeah, right. My Specialized road bike needs 105, and then my Specialized hard rock bike needs like 80 psi, so nothing there. By the way, I am not sponsored by Specialized. I don't receive any compensation or free bikes or parts from them. I'm just bringing this video to you, and that's why I ask you if you could just hit the subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. So let's get right down to it. Now you can see the head here. I'm going to bring the camera down and show you how this all works. So one moment, please. All right. In fact, I'm going to stop the camera and we'll move it. Great, so now we've got our close-up. Now you might ask, why are there two different types of valves on bikes? Well, on road bikes, they tend to have a lot higher pressure, and as a consequence, this Presta valve is apparently better for holding that pressure. So depending on the type of bike you have, you will have this Presta valve here, which is not as common or familiar to you, or you will have the more common Schrader valve head that is on your car and your classic mountain bikes. So we're going to work on this guy first. Let me get the camera reset just to show you how this works. Now, this is a multi-layer system just because of the higher pressure in here. You of course have the cap. You unscrew that, there's nothing to it. But this type of valve, the Presta, has a little locking mechanism, and in order to inflate, you have to unscrew this little cap, and this cap prevents the air from escaping. Also, you might notice that on your bike, this little ring will start to loosen up. You want to draw this down just as a touch up and just gently touch the rim. You don't want to over crank it because it'll tear away the valve stem from the tube. So now what I'm going to do is show you the thing that's most frustrating. So you can see here, let me zoom out just a bit. Yeah, there we go. So this bike pump, you would think that the bike pump would start up, you'd push it on, and then you'd throw it down. This pump works exactly the opposite. And it's just the way that the rubber inside here tends to crank down. It's not focusing very well, but you might be able to see that rubber shrink when I lift that lock up. So when you push this pump on, you actually have to be somewhat aggressive, because if you just push it lightly, I just pretty much let most of the air out of my tire. And so it's really frustrating. So let me zoom in and I will show you. Let's see. Hopefully it'll focus, maybe not. There we go. So when you push this on, you have to push it on past the deflation point, and then you will feel this little bit of locking action. And then you lift this handle up while you're pressing down, and then let me pump it up just a little bit. Right now I'm only at 20 psi. Let me get up to 40 so we can lose some more air and have fun with this. So you'll see that this is how this works, and when you release, you flip this down, pull it up, and it's very easy. And in fact, the release is actually more important than the put on, because releasing, that's where all your air ends up coming out of traditional bike pumps that start up, and then you got to push them down and then try and release them. This actually works better. I know it's totally counterintuitive. So you have to push it on and past the point of hearing the hiss. You have to be aggressive. You'll feel it grind on the teeth, and then boom, lock. So you can see this is actually pushed on pretty far. Let me get out just a bit here so I can get a better angle. And I'll show you how far this actually has to be pushed on. It's actually quite a bit. So I'll do that again for you. All right, so I always hold it like this. Make sure this guy is up. Okay, ready? So let me check. You push down all the way till you feel like a little grinding pop. Not like a balloon pop, but that's it. And then you simply pump up your bike and begin cranking on it. Now this is why I wish I would have bought the slightly larger diameter pump, is because it takes a little bit longer to fill up. It's not to fill up. It's not to say that the silver edition is bad, but it's all about efficiency. So right now I am at 50 psi, and I have my little indicator, which you can turn here. You can actually turn this just to give you a little cue of where you want to stop. I keep mine at 105 because that's the maximum pressure. And so I'm going to show you how many pumps it takes for a traditional road bike. 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's about 17 pumps. So from 40 psi to the max of 105 was about 14 pumps. So here's the magic. And this is why the switch hitter 2 head actually works quite well, is because when you push the lock down, it almost forces the head off this Presta valve, and then it's much, much easier to release. Okay, so we're going to do this. So just listen. And that's it. So this type of grip actually holds on very well. So when you pull it up, when you push the lock and release it down and pull it up, it actually lets very little air out of the tire. In fact, that hiss is the air coming out of the hose, not really the tire at all. And then you simply screw down the valve, and I'll zoom in there to show you just a bit more. And then of course you put the cap back on, and that keeps the mud and muck out. And then just make sure this is lightly connected there. And that's it for the Presta valve. That's literally how you pump that thing up. So I'll go through that process again up close. You just loosen it, and I'll hold it from the back so you can see. And in fact, I'll let a little air out. Good. Just to show you what it's like. You push down. Boom. So let's listen. Crunch, crunch. And in fact, here, let me put my microphone really close so you can hear the sound, okay? Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can get my microphone in the right direction. Maybe. Okay, good enough. Boom. Alright, so just like that, you put the valve on. Now, going to pump it up again, just to show you the level of effort. Right now I am at, let's see, where am I at? I am at 60 psi, so let me bring it up to 105 and we'll see how many pumps it takes. Again, about 14 pumps. So it also depends, let me zoom out here even more, of how high you raise this pump column. I never raise it this high. I usually pump and then I'll, ooh, that's almost too high for my tire. Hang on. All right, we'll try this again. Whew. Now don't put your hand through. I let out a good chunk of air. So I never raise this all the way because you can twist and break. These parts are replaceable because this is an expensive pump. But I traditionally raise it only about 8 inches. I could be more efficient and come a lot higher per stroke. But that's kind of annoying. So I just work down here where I only use my forearms and pump it up. And that's it. So I'll show you one more time about the release cycle and how not to let all of the air out of your tire. We'll zoom out there, okay. And again, the hiss is from the hose, it's not from the tire, really. Unlocked. And that's it, just that easy. Now that is for the Presta valve. So now I'm going to show you on my other bike what it's like to do the Schrader. One moment, I will move my bike in here. Hopefully my bike won't fall over because that is annoying. All right, I'll move the camera a little bit and I'll show you on the front wheel just because it's more convenient and you can see more clearly. And this is going to be a very similar action on the Schrader valve versus the Presta, ironically enough. Okay, good. Now, just from where I'm standing, I'm going to put this switch hitter 2 head on so you can see what I'm doing. Now, what I do normally, let me zoom out a little bit, sorry about that. There we go, is I put my thumb right here. Zoom out a little bit more. I put my thumb on here to apply a little bit of positive pressure, and you will hear almost no hissing. And then I just push this up with my thumb, lock it in, and voila, right now I'm at 40 psi. So I pump once or twice. Easy. Okay, and the release process is super similar to the Presta valve. You push down, pull up with here. This is how I lift up rather than lifting the handle up. And boom, it pops off. So it's very, very easy to use on that guy. Again, I'll demonstrate that. I just push down. No air comes out. I lock it in. And there you go. Oops, of course I could get it out of the spokes, sorry. And there we are. So I'm going to show you what it looks like on the pump side when I lock this in, and I'll narrate when the pump is locked in, and you'll see that happen. So I unlock the head. Let me see, right. I unlock the head, nothing, and then I pull up. And there you go. So I'm going to push down and then throw the lock on the head, and the lock is when the valve is pushed. So when you push this particular head onto a Schrader valve, it doesn't air out like other valves, which is really nice. And now I'm going to show you how long it takes to pump up with the silver column on a regular 27-inch tire from 40 to 60 psi. So that was about 24 pumps, and that's why I wish I would have got the larger diameter column, just because on the mountain bikes, MTBs, this takes a lot longer to pump up. It makes it easier to pump up a road bike, but the mountain bike's a little slower, so that's your trade. And I will once again demonstrate the removal process. It's very, very easy, even though I'm doing it backwards only for convenience of camera. I would never go from the back normally because this is irritating, but just so you can see. So ready? And that's it. Just that easy. So here we go. Let me wind this up, check out my trash cans. So there you go. That is how to use the switch hitter 2-head on the Specialized Airtool, what exactly is the title called? The Specialized HP floor pump, the Airtool, with that switch hitter 2-head. It seems a little bit awkward, but ultimately it works much, much better on both Schrader and Presta valves for mountain bikes or MTBs, and then also for road bikes. So highly recommended. I'll put links below for your convenience. And also, again, if you could subscribe to the channel. My name is Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Please like and comment on the video. Hit the subscribe below. If you grab your phone, you hit the little arrow right next to the video below. You can expand and get links to more material that I have, and also to subscribe to the channel. Scroll down and just leave a comment. Let me know. Hopefully this helps you out and ideas for videos in the future. My name is Linsdau. I appreciate your time. Please support me on Venmo, PayPal, and Patreon. Thank you very much for watching.